So you're thinking of moving to Tullahoma, Tennessee. Well, in this video, we're going to show you around Tullahoma, Tennessee.
We'll take you through some different neighborhoods. We'll show you some different homes and different price points so that you can see what might fit within your budget here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I promise you that Chris and I are going to share with you some of the best kept secrets that this city has to offer. We're getting after it right now.
So if this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, then please subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about the current market conditions here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And one other thing, we always love finding out where our viewers are watching from. If you would please drop us a comment and let us know where you're from, because we would absolutely love to connect with you. My name is Chris.
My name is Mark.
And we are with
Welcome Home, Nashville, Tennessee. Folks, we get calls and emails from people just like you every single day looking to make their move here to Tullahoma, Tennessee, and we absolutely love it. So remember, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a personalized Zoom call with us, all in the description below, so that we can help you make a smooth move here to Tullahoma, Tennessee. All right, folks, so as I mentioned, we're in Tullahoma, Tennessee today. We're actually downtown Tullahoma right now, and Tullahoma is known as a hub for aeronautics and avionics activities and industry here in Tullahoma. Believe it or not, the NASA X-43 unmanned hypersonic aircraft was actually engineered and developed right here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Now, we are downtown right now, and you'll probably notice some of the cool little shops and stores behind me. Nice little places to grab a bite to eat and hang out down here. And we wanted to tell you just a little bit more about the area while we were here. So, again, with being so heavily involved in the aviation and aeronautics industries, you'll notice there are jets on the light poles around here in the downtown area, which is really cool. It's a cool tribute to those industries. You've also got Arnold Air Force Base just down the street, which employs quite a few of Tullahoma's citizens. You wouldn't think of Tullahoma as a military town, but it certainly does have a lot of involvement on the base, and a lot of things are centered around that. Anyways, folks, if you're not familiar with where Tullahoma is, don't feel too bad about it, because many folks aren't. It is located directly southeast of Nashville, Tennessee, by about 70 miles, if I remember correctly. So a pretty good haul outside of Nashville, but just straight down I-24, southeast from Nashville, you'll find Tullahoma, Tennessee. Here's another one of those jets I was mentioning earlier. Very, very cool stuff, folks. The downtown area, it's really filled mostly with commercial buildings. There is some industry just down the street, more industrial type buildings. There are a few local shops and locally owned businesses down here. My favorite, of course, as you may have imagined if you've watched any of our videos, is Taylor's Archery Shop. It's just down the street. They're super big into giving back to the community and promoting archery. They actually sponsor a lot of youth archery activities, taking kids traveling all over the state and competing in tournaments. Just super, super good stuff. Little shout out to Tracy and Sandy Taylor, the owners and operators of Taylor's Archery. They are just phenomenal people. If you're ever in the area, you definitely need to go and check them out. So we're gonna go a little bit closer to the main strip here in downtown. We've driven through there. Actually, we're gonna cross the street while we can. We've driven through there a couple times, but it does get pretty loud over there, folks. So forgive me if there's any sort of background noise. We're gonna go and just kind of give you a quick overview of the downtown strip here. You know, most of your locally owned stuff is on the back side of the square, while the front side of the square is more just the main road here. It's North Jackson Street, and yeah, you'll see in just a moment. It is quite busy, quite busy. Alrighty, so here we are, folks. We're in Main Street, Tullahoma, Tennessee. Beautiful location, just down the street actually from Jack Daniel's Distillery as well. I know if you're not familiar with anything in Tennessee, you're probably familiar with Jack Daniel's whiskey. Tennessee whiskey, there is a difference. There's a distinction. If you ever come down and go on one of the free distillery tours, which I cannot recommend enough, they will make sure that you understand the distinction between Tennessee sipping whiskey and other whiskeys. You've also got places like the Elk River, just outside of Lynchburg, which is about 20 minutes down the street or so. Some great trout fishing there. And yeah, Tullahoma just has a lot to offer, especially in this downtown area. A lot of locally owned shops and businesses that have been here for many years. So once we get off this main street here, folks, we'll show you a little bit more. I know it's super loud over here just because all the traffic coming through. This is definitely a bustling downtown area, to say the least. A lot of, I believe I mentioned, a lot of professional offices down here. You know, we've got Edward Jones here. We've got the Chamber of Commerce just over there. But we also have cool little places to grab some food, like the Tin Porch right up here. They've got coffee, dessert, wine, cocktails. You've got the ice cream distillery as well. Phenomenal place to go grab an ice cream cone, get yourself something sweet, and hang out and enjoy the sunshine here in downtown Tullahoma, Tennessee. Again, bustling downtown, folks. There are people out meandering about, working in public here. That is one thing great that came from COVID, was a lot of people transitioned to work from home type roles. You know, that affords people a lot more freedom than a traditional desk job. And personally, my friends and family members who have transitioned from a traditional office type setting to more of those work from home roles or remote roles really enjoy it. It definitely improved their quality of life, and I understand why. So again, you've got some cool places down here in Tullahoma, like our cigar shop here. We've got Clayton Shoes. That one's a staple that's been here for many years. And then as we get down here to the corner, I'll point out Taylor's Archery Shop, and then we'll pass you off to Chris, and he'll get to tell you just a little bit more about Tullahoma, Tennessee. So as we are coming down the sidewalk here, the square is pretty darn substantial. It's a large downtown. So Taylor's Archery is actually just down the street there behind me. We may stop in there, just show you one of the locally owned businesses that's been here in Tullahoma for many years, and will probably be here for many years to come. You know, I keep mentioning there's plenty of things to do down here, plenty of things to eat. It is a cool place to come down and have like a date night, show people who are new to the area, kind of give them a grand tour. You wouldn't expect to find all this cool stuff in such a small town, but kind of like our Manchester video. If you haven't seen that yet, you definitely need to check it out. But kind of like our Manchester video, there really is a lot more to this city than meets the eye. So now that we've kind of covered our downtown area, I'll go ahead and pass you off to Chris, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about Tullahoma.
All right, y'all, as you can see, we are out here in Tullahoma, Tennessee today, and it is absolutely beautiful. It is the 32nd largest city in Tennessee. Population right around 20,000 people. So you still have that small town feel, but what you'll find is that it's actually very centrally located within about an hour and 15 to hour and 30 minutes to 3 major metro areas, including Nashville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Huntsville, Alabama. So from there, you're talking about 75 miles southeast headed down I-24 to get from Nashville to Tullahoma, roughly 75 miles to Chattanooga, headed headed southeast to get to Chattanooga from Tullahoma, headed northwest from Chattanooga to get to Tullahoma. And then you're roughly, I think, about 65 miles, a little over an hour to Huntsville, Alabama, which is a pretty big major metro area that a lot of people from Tennessee have been commuting to work there, especially over the increasing years. Now, as Tullahoma grows, you'll actually find that it's grown 48% according to Census Bureau data over the last 23 years. Continuing to grow. You are seeing some newer homes being built, but there's still a lot of homes that have been rehabbed and that are original to Tullahoma, and people are fixing up. Oh, just stepped on a rock there. And the people are fixing up, and you know, the community, like I said, it's a small town feel. Everybody kind of knows everybody, and you're close to the Arnold Air Force Base, so you've got a lot of military involvement here. I know as we were walking past the Sundrop earlier, the Sundrop restaurant where they sell ice cream, sodas, and all that stuff, actually had some military members coming out earlier. You get to see a lot of those guys around here. So I personally always enjoy their presence in the community that I'm in and fully support the troops. But the other thing outside of just some of that Census Bureau data, there's actually some pretty good schools here in Tullahoma and in the area. So you have Webb School, which is one of the top private schools in the state. I believe it's number 3. And then you have the number 6 high school college prep school in the state. So it's a private school. So some great options for school here in the area, but not only just great options for school, you have great options for living, all landing right around and under the $300,000 threshold for the average price point. A lot of homes are either in the country or just minutes from the country, where you can see this beautiful rolling landscape, beautiful rolling hills, and you're right in between 3 different lakes. Currently, I'm walking right beside Normandy Lake. I'm actually going over the dam, which is a pretty interesting thing about Tennessee is the number of dams that were built. We use them for power. So a lot of people don't realize that any lake that you see outside of Reelfoot Lake in West Tennessee was actually man-made. Majority are operated by TVA. So I'm walking over man-made bridge currently. You actually have Duck River comes right out the bottom of it. It is a cold water river, so it's actually stocked with trout right down here at the bottom of the river. So I've actually kayaked, fished right out of Normandy. There's a kayak rental right over here. So they'll rent kayaks, they'll rent tubes. Instead of having to deal with shuttling yourself, you can come right over here. They'll drop you in and they'll pick you up on down the river. So whether you want to fish, just float, a lot of people call it cabrewing. So if you're canoeing and having a couple beers, it's called cabrewing. It's a very popular pastime on a lot of Tennessee rivers, especially the duck. Now, you got a lot of birds flying out here. I know that one was flying by me a few minutes ago. He is down there looking for a fish. So hopefully I'll get to see him catch some. Seen some ducks flowing by, some blue herons and egrets. Seen quite a bit of wildlife, and we've seen a lot of deer today. So if you like animal watching, bird watching, anything like that, provides a great opportunity to get outdoors and check everything out that's going on. The other big lake here that you'll find is Timms Ford Lake. A lot of people will bounce back and forth between Normandy and Timms Ford. Timms Ford is a little bit more populated than Normandy is. As you see here behind me, there's not really any houses that you can see. It's other than the boat dock here and a little another boat dock over there. You won't see a lot of man-made stuff out here on Normandy Lake. It's mostly trees, rolling hills, beautiful clouds, sun shining, and taking it all in. Timms Ford, like I said, there's a little bit more, a few more docks there, a few more houses viewable from the lake. So it's a little bit different scene depending on what you're wanting. If you're wanting waterfront homes, you're definitely going to need to go on down to the other end of Tullahoma and look at Timms Ford. But if you enjoy just getting out on the lake, bringing your boat out, don't necessarily need to live on the water and spend the water price tag, then Normandy provides a great opportunity to get outside. And Tullahoma overall just provides a great opportunity to get outside. A lot of waterfalls, hiking trails, thousands of acres of state park and park land that is all reserved for your outdoor activities. A lot of people mountain bike, just really anything to get outside. I know my wife and I, we bring the kid out, bring the dogs, we'll go hike, check out everything. Like I said, check out the waterfalls and hiking trails. But now that we've talked quite a bit about everything that's going on here in Tullahoma, let's go ahead and get after our home tours so that you can see what best might fit your budget.
All right, folks, we have made it to our first stop of our home tours here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We are in another beautiful neighborhood here today. Sun shining, cannot beat it. Kids are out playing, folks are out walking their dogs right now. Anyways, we wanted to show you this listing here at Huntington Place. This is going to be a 4.2.5 sitting right at 2,700 square feet. Now, a vast majority of these homes in this neighborhood are currently for sale, but we wanted to select this listing just because it is such a beautiful home. This is a 2-story brick home, nice fenced in privacy backyard. Absolutely love it. Beautiful, beautiful home for sure. So this is the listing here behind us. Looks very good, very good. These homes here are going to fall right in our $300,000 price point, folks. This one is currently listed at $399,900. Has been on the market today. If you are interested, I guarantee you we can get a deal worked on this property. That is the nice thing about this market right now. You know, the interest rates are certainly brutal, but for those who you know, maybe in a little bit different of a position financially, they're not so worried about the interest rate. It's not so much of a factor for them. It is a, it is a phenomenal time to try and buy a piece of real estate. I mean, a vast majority of these homes, specifically in this neighborhood, have been on the market for more than 40 days so far. That does not bode well for a listing agent. So the good part about that, the upside about that, especially if you are in if you're in a buyer's position and you're in a good position to buy, you know, it makes financial sense. Right now is a phenomenal time to work a deal on a piece of property. You know, those interest rates, they affect all of us. You know, inflation is crazy right now. It is absolutely brutal out there. But, you know, the world keeps turning. Deals are closing every single day. It's totally normal that even in this market, things continue to transact. Now, they aren't transacting as high as they were, you know, 2 years ago, but back then we had a COVID inflated market. That was an anomaly. That was certainly not the rule by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think anybody expects it to go back to that anytime soon. You know, 2 and 3% interest rates, you know, they really don't happen. So yeah, COVID was a bit of an anomaly. And, you know, right now, it may not be the best time to buy for you. It may not be the best time to sell for you. But for those individuals where it does make sense for them, you know, right now is a great time to potentially work a deal on a new home. It really is. If you can make it in this market, you can really find some good deals out there. And I'd be willing to wager the listing we just showed you, as well as some of the other listings in the neighborhood here, guarantee you that that more than one of them would be willing to offer some concessions to a legitimate buyer. So definitely just some things to consider. You know, the neighborhood itself, it is a very nice, quiet neighborhood. That's what I've noticed about a lot of these neighborhoods here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. They're kind of quiet, sleepy neighborhoods. Most of the folks we've encountered today have been very friendly. You know, that's kind of a given here in Middle Tennessee. But everybody we've really encountered here in Tullahoma today have just been extremely wonderful folks, very friendly. You know, at one point, I will tell you, my wife and I, we did spend some time looking in the Tullahoma area when we were in the market to purchase our first home. You know, the lakes were a big appeal to us. Being close to family was a big appeal to us. And yeah, I mean, Tullahoma really is an awesome market. So anyways, folks, that's going to wrap up our first stop on our home tour today. Let's go ahead and head on down the road and get on to our next one. We have made it to our third stop on our home tour here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Folks, we are in Emerald Meadows. It's a lovely community, only about 10 minutes from the lake we were just shooting at a little bit ago. Gives you great access there. These homes are going to be fitting in our $400,000 price point, more towards the upper end of the $400,000 price point. We do have one to show you that's currently listed for sale. It is a 3.5 sitting right at 2,400 square feet. Sorry about that, 2,400 square feet. It's currently listed at $489,900. Now, these are very attractive homes. They're single level, it looks like. Got garages in every single one. Good sized lots, nice privacy fences behind everything. Everything seems to be pretty well manicured. And yeah, just a nice, quiet, sleepy little neighborhood here, about 10 minutes from the lake and about another 7 or 8 minutes from downtown Tullahoma. So you're really centrally located there. You're not going to have to travel too far to go to the grocery store or get out on the weekends and hit the water. You can't beat that, right? These homes do seem to be pretty similar. There's there's not a ton of variation in floor plans. It looks like seems to be just minor differences, mostly mirrored floor plans throughout the neighborhood. But the one we are going to show you right up here, it is a little different than most of these other homes you're going to see in the background. Just a little bit of a different layout. So we kind of like that. You know, we always like the oddball. We like the one that's unique. But this is a gorgeous neighborhood, folks. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Like I said, everything seems to be very well maintained, nice and quiet, and a good price point as well. You know, you can get into a very quality neighborhood that's going to keep you pretty convenient to everything, all under $500K here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Thankfully, we've also had the weather clear up. You know, it was threatening to storm on us earlier today, but thankfully we avoided that. Now we've got some sunshine, but we still maintain that really nice breeze, low humidity today, and now we've just got some sunshine and a couple less clouds. Couple less clouds in the sky, a little less dark, a little less angry looking. Definitely love this kind of weather in Middle Tennessee. This is the Middle Tennessee weather that everybody here absolutely loves. You know, very low 80s, upper 70s, low humidity, nice breeze, a couple clouds in the sky to give us some shade. You really cannot beat a Middle Tennessee day like today. It's phenomenal, folks. It's enjoyable to be outside. The bugs aren't bad. You know, it's just, you can't ask for a better day. So, all right, here we go. Here is our property currently for sale. Let me get out of the center of the street so I don't get run over. Waving at the neighbors. Everybody's always so friendly. That is one thing I love about Middle Tennessee in particular, is that everyone is so friendly. Now, this again is our property that we currently have for sale. Beautiful brick home on a corner lot, folks. As you can see, this isn't a main roadway behind me. It's not super busy. It's a pretty quiet road leading down the front of the neighborhood here. And, you know, everything looks gorgeous. It's ready to go, folks. This is turnkey. Landscaping's already done. Yard is manicured. The stripes are cut. You cannot beat it. So that's going to wrap up our third spot on our home tours here in Tullahoma, Tennessee today. Let's go ahead and head on down the road and check out our next spot on our home tours here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. All right, folks, we have made it to our last stop on our home tours today here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We are in the beautiful Fairways community. Absolutely gorgeous golf course community, hence the name, the Fairways. You know, kind of makes sense, right? But absolutely beautiful community, folks. All these homes are just massive. You know, Manchester and Tullahoma, your dollar gets you so much more here than it would in, say, Nashville. These homes are going to be falling in that 800,000 plus price point. It is a community situated on a golf course. The course is absolutely beautiful. Personally, I've never played it, but it is a beautiful course nonetheless. And yeah, absolutely love it here. Everything's incredibly well maintained. You know, you would expect that from a community called the Fairways. You can access the course and the clubhouse via golf cart path. So that's super convenient. Now, we do have a listing to show you up here, and you may be slightly blown away when you see what $850,000 will get you here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Now, this home is a 4-bed, 4-bath home. It does have a pool. It has a full pool house with a full bath as well. It has a 3-car garage, and sitting right at 4,500 square feet on almost 2 acres. The home itself actually encompasses 2 different lots, so you really have enough space for family, friends, in-laws, just about anybody you care to have over. You'll have a place to store them. As long as they enjoy the pool or golfing, you will be set here in the Fairways. Now, I love this neighborhood just because it's so well manicured. That's something I love about golf courses, is that the majority of the time they're just absolutely immaculate and very well cared for. That in turn attracts a ton of wildlife, and you may have noticed in our B-roll footage as we came through the neighborhood, and I actually see one now resting in the shade up there. There are just a ton of white-tailed deer here, and currently, you know, we're early September right now filming this, so all of their babies, all of their fawns are still spotted up. They're tiny. They're bright orange with white spots. They're Vols fans, of course, you know, naturally here in Tennessee. But incredibly gorgeous animals. Speaking of a cart path and walking path you can enjoy, but incredibly gorgeous animals that are just so incredibly fun to watch and appreciate, and just anytime you get to experience them and interact with them is an incredible opportunity. Now, this home behind me is actually the listing we were talking about. So again, that one just sold for $850,000 here in the Fairways. Again, it is a 4-bed, 4-bath, sitting right at 4,500 square feet. It does have a pool house with a full bath, as well as a 3-car garage, and you have these beautiful homes behind me and over my shoulder as your neighbors. I mean, you really cannot beat the value for your dollar here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and Manchester, Tennessee as well. Again, if you haven't gotten a chance to check out that video, you definitely want to check it out. You may be surprised how far your dollar goes, just about an hour and a half outside of Nashville, Chattanooga, and Huntsville, Alabama. That is one nice thing about living in Tullahoma or Manchester, Tennessee. You are within a 2-hour drive of 3 major southern metro areas. So, you know, whether you like the job market in Tennessee, Nashville, or Chattanooga, you know, you're working remotely, anything like that, and you just want a quiet kind of home base, but you don't necessarily want to give up any of the niceties that those metro areas offer. This type of community could definitely be the right fit for you. Again, everything's well manicured, well cared for. The homes are beautiful. All of them are just massive custom brick homes. Yeah, you really cannot beat it, folks. It's a gorgeous community, tons of wildlife, a beautiful course running through the neighborhood. Check out our driving footage as well. They've got a very nice clubhouse here for you to enjoy, and all of this is accessible by cart path, so that makes it really cool as well. Proximity wise, you're about 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes, depending on the red lights, outside of downtown Tullahoma. You know, all of those cool little shops and boutiques and restaurants we showed you, all that fun stuff. You're only a couple minutes outside of that, so you're still relatively convenient to everything that Tullahoma has to offer. Now, living here does put you a little bit further away from those major highways. Unlike Manchester, you will have to travel just a little bit further to get to like I-24, I-65. Yeah, so just take that into consideration when you're weighing your options between Manchester and Tullahoma, because, you know, some folks want to be within a 3-minute drive of the highway. You know, they want to jump on the highway, head down the road, get to work, call it done and dusted. And, you know, some folks, like myself, I don't mind being a little further away from the highway. I appreciate having a little less traffic, a little less road noise, things of those nature. And yeah, it feels a little bit safer to me. It's a little bit more comforting, so I don't necessarily mind having a 15 to 20 minute commute just to get to the interstate and then drive another 15 to 20 minutes to my destination. So anyways, folks, that's going to wrap up our home tour today here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. We'll go ahead and sign off here and then catch you for our outro in just a moment.
So we want to thank you guys so much for following along here on our home tour in Tullahoma, Tennessee today. We are wrapping up at a really awesome location. This is one of the 2 airports here in Tullahoma and the home of Tennessee skydiving, where I actually skydived a couple years ago. So we took off from a plane out here, flew straight up, and I got to free fall for a little while, and that was one of the coolest things that I've ever done. Definitely the free falling experience is like no other. Until you get there, you pull your parachute, and then that was actually the scarier part, was pulling the parachute as you're whipping back and forth trying to make sure you land out here on the runway. Super cool. But back to what we were talking about with Tullahoma, we got to see some great homes, show you guys some awesome price points. You kind of got to see what 300s, 400s, 800s would kind of get you. And you know, for the most part here in Tullahoma, most of the time $300,000 to $400,000 will get you a pretty nice home. We've also talked about schools, restaurants, and a little bit of everything else that Tullahoma has to offer, and we would love to connect with you.
So remember folks, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a personalized Zoom call with us, all in the description below, so that we can help you make a smooth move here to Tullahoma, Tennessee. Until next time, we hope to see you around town soon.